In this video, Part 5, Husbandry and Care of the application will be discussed. All details in the table must be filled out accurately. If you are sourcing animals from more than one supplier, you must fill in all details from the table inside the box below. Conditions for how your animal should be moved will vary depending on the species. You should be well informed on the impact of travel on your species and the best way to transport your animal to minimise this impact. How you plan to do this should be reflected in your response. For example, if you need to transport mice by car, you may choose to use a small carrier with blanket, water and hide inside and a towel covering the carrier. Depending on the weather, you may choose to include a hot water bottle or an ice pack inside the carrier, but secured so that it cannot harm the animal. The carrier itself is placed on a flat surface where it cannot slide around. You should construct an enclosure based on research and the needs of your species. It is in your best interest to produce a photo of the enclosure your animal will be housed in during and out of school hours. You need to be specific about the construction, design, and contents of the enclosure and give your reasoning. For example, a hide provides shelter from the elements as well as a place for animals to hide in if they are scared. What are the dimensions of the enclosure? If multiple animals will be housed in the one space, you need to communicate how much space each animal will have. Your animal should never be left in an open space where they may escape or be difficult to control. Keeping animals in a controlled environment, for example an appropriately sized cage, will reduce stress and allow you to efficiently complete your activity to reduce the time animals are outside of their enclosure. Travel in short distances can put unnecessary stress on an animal. Describe how you will minimise this stress. For example, a rabbit may be transported in a small carrier filled with oat and hay with a towel over the top. You need to provide specific details on what your animal will be fed every day. For example, 2 small catfish may each need to be fed 1 pellet of algae wafers daily. You also need to provide details on what cleaning product will be used to clean the enclosure and how often and in what way these will be used to clean the enclosure. Are there any grooming requirements you need to pay attention to? For example, clipping the nails of a Peruvian guinea pig and combing the hair. Finally, if your animal will consume any medications, you need to specify what they are, their doses, and the frequency of use. For example, you may need to treat hock sores in rabbits. You must describe what your veterinarian has prescribed and how to use it. This may be applying a rice grain-sized amount of prescribed antibiotic ointment to the affected hocks twice a day. You will also need to document the name of the medication. A staff member should be responsible for monitoring the well-being of the animal during school hours. You must have a backup person if the allocated staff member is absent. The details of these staff members and their responsibilities must be provided. The sample monitoring form is useful to monitor eating, toileting, weekly weight, and symptoms of illness. Similar to above, you may have a rotating roster of people looking after the animals outside of school. All these people need to be detailed in this box, and what they will do to monitor the health of the animals needs to be recorded. Depending on the species, your animal will need different types of enrichment as part of upkeeping its welfare. You need to be specific and describe the form this will take, where it will take place, and for how long. For example, during school hours, rabbits may be given different rabbit-friendly chew toys, hides, and tunnels to explore and play with. At the conclusion of your project, you need to arrange for the animal to be rehomed. Using your response to this question, the AEC will judge whether your rehoming arrangements are satisfactory or not. Whoever has arranged to adopt the animal must provide a written statement that shows commitment to the ongoing care of the animal being rehomed. If you need any more clarity on how to answer any of these questions, you can email the VSAEC at animalethics@education.vic.gov.au.